Facilities Committee meeting. We're going to start off and call this meeting to order. We are looking for the approval of the minutes from last month, July 15th.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Anthony. Thank you very much. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed and carried. All right. Doing our customary call-out privilege of the floor. Does anybody have anything that's not on the agenda or on the agenda that they desire to speak to tonight or this afternoon? Seeing and hearing none, we are going to move on following the agenda. We have a couple changes. I'll note those as we get to them. Number one, a proposed resolution or authorized agreements with the municipalities for landfill use. Is there anybody here to speak to that? Please come on down.
Good afternoon. Aaron Gustafson, Deputy Director of Public Facilities Environment. So this resolution is something after some discussion with law and a few legislative legal people, we decided to push through to make it to make something like this a little more municipally friendly. We currently already have a local law, 1395, which is listed in this resolution, that pretty much gives us the right to do what we're asking to do, but we wanted to, make it better. We already have a resolution to enter into contracts with municipalities. That's also Resolution 42-2000, which is listed in this resolution. This is one to enter into contracts with some out-of-county municipalities. And this resolution has come about because we recently had an RFP for a contract to accept some out-of-county waste. We'd like the ability to utilize that or any other future RFPs coming. Knowing the waste stream from some of the stuff I presented you guys with the solid waste plan, how that's changing, and then what is going on with the state and some of their landfill permitting, or rather not permitting. We see more of this potential on the horizon. So we just want the ability to do that in a timely manner. RFPs, as you know, come in, they have a time frame, we need to respond, so we just need to be able to respond in a timely manner. So this resolution is very similar to 42-2000 in its structure, in that we're just asking to use legislative approved pricing, so whatever pricing we have current that's legislatively approved. I will, if need be, come up with a price based on whatever waste may be coming. So if there's a mix of C&D and MSW, we'll try to figure out what the exact pricing is mixed coming in. So like the last one, we took a percentage of what they had the last 5 years in C&D and MSW and came up with a per ton price that would technically be equal if they brought it over to scale at those rates for our rates currently. But, and then the contract, of course, would be signed and executed through the county executive. So everybody's still involved. It's just a matter of making the deal, if you will. So, and there are some protections in here if you read through it. The service and the term and the payments. It gives us some opt-outs and some securities from the county standpoint.
Thank you for that, Aaron. Any questions, comments?
Yes.
My only concern when I saw materials, I was wondering anything hazardous.
No, because the reference to 1395, and I actually have that with us. 1395 has statements in it such as cost, debts, future landfill, why, deputy director, prohibited waste, it's 1395 was addended by 1495, which has protections for the proper waste that we accept.
Okay.
You can certainly look up 1495, or I could get you a copy. And then, actually, to further that, Local law number 2095 addends 1495 to keep nuclear waste out too, so. It's basically under our same MO. We won't let any other unprohibited waste in.
Good.
Aaron, so I'm not sure if I followed you. Have we accepted out-of-county municipal waste previously?
We do currently.
We do currently.
But we don't go into contract.
Okay.
Anyone can cross our scale right now. We always have the option to deny it. We can certainly do that. But we currently don't have a contract with anyone.
So because of that, you are not anticipating a change in usage?
Not currently,
From
unless we
out-of-county
do get a
municipalities.
RFP like this last one, which I did unofficially find out it wasn't awarded to us, but a big reason I'm even looking at that is because I'd like to put a positive budget out there. The last few that I don't know if you guys are aware of, some of you may not be, are negative. Now, we always end up positive because we budget conservatively and generally gain more revenue, and most of that's a one-off, a big demolition project, a soil project, something comes in that gains enough revenue to meet the needs, and hopefully we spend less than what we predict. So this year, you'll see that I went through a lot of our expenditures on our budget. I tried to trim them back to get them a little closer to reality, to get us closer to a positive budget. And we're not there, but we're closer. We base our budget on the waste stream we're confident is there conservatively, which would be a lot of in-county waste, some out-of-county waste that comes at a regular basis and has. But we haven't built another city or township in our county. And with the way the state is taking materials out of the waste stream, our volumes are down, therefore our revenue is going to be down. So where do we need to look to gain more revenue without raising prices to benefit our residents? We have to look outside the county.
All right, my next question was about volume, so you just answered that, so, okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments from the committee? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and carried. Great, thank you
Thanks,
very
guys.
much. Appreciate that. Our second proposed resolution, amending the capital project account for the Parks Department.
Hi, Tim Carr, Director of Public Facilities.
Drew Rogers, Deputy Director, Public Facilities Engineering.
Okay. The resolution before you is an amendment for, back in May, Memorial Day weekend, DPF was broken into, and some hand tools and some things were stolen, and a four-wheeler. And this basically is just the revenue that we have received from the insurance to offset the cost to replace the four-wheeler.
Questions, comments on this?
What color did you get? Just kidding. Green. I think the new one's green.
Mr. Chairman, if I could interject for just a second. That came out
Please.
a lot louder than I thought it would. I'm so sorry. Just a quick correction. I believe that the last two, the decreased revenue and increased appropriation, I think there's a typo. I believe that should be DM 5130 and DM 9950 on those respective accounts.
Okay, very good, thank you for that.
Thank you, Jane.
How old was the one that we no longer have? Do you know the year of that?
I don't think it was
I don't think it
wasn't
was that
that
long.
old.
Sam,
Okay.
you don't recall, do you, the purchase of the four-wheeler initially?
I was just curious what the numbers
We bought
are.
one within the last 2 years. We did buy, one was 2 years, and then we had one that was older. I'm not sure which one was stolen, but one we had bought, within the last 2 years.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was the newer.
The
Okay.
newer.
Never located, huh?
Not yet.
Not yet.
They did recover a ladder and, what else did they recover? One other tool, a pair of bolt cutters. So they're on it, but it's just,
Yeah.
Have we done anything to prevent another break-in in the future? Are there cameras in the building or anything to?
We've secured the building more, but it was back in the old sign shop and the old part of the old highway building is where they broke into.
All right, any other
And
questions?
yes, we are in the process, Drew's getting together a price for some cameras and a fence so we can enclose that whole facility down there.
Maybe lighting too, or to?
Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments from the committee? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Great. Thank you, gentlemen. The third item, setting the salary for the land surveyor.
Yeah, this resolution is to create a new title in the engineering division. Currently, all the titles in engineering, with the exception of one that has a parenthetical for land surveyor, are all geared towards engineering duties. The person in the parenthetical land surveyor position has agreed to take on additional surveying responsibility, most notably in the use of his license to stamp and certify surveys, so we don't have to put as much work out when we do need those services. Could be a savings both on efficiency as well as monetary, not having to do as much of that. So that would just increase our in-house capability, save a little money, and additionally, we had a recent departure of a 17-year employee that was doing a lot of surveying, layout, stakeout, shooting grade for the various DPF projects, that now the land surveyor position would have to kind of be a lot more involved. You don't have that reliable position of somebody that kind of is already ingrained and know what they're doing. So there's going to be a lot more oversight when that position becomes filled, we imagine. Like I mentioned, the existing titles being so geared towards engineering didn't really fit all these duties associated with the land surveying. And it will, you know, in addition to that, the position that this person is in, he's already at the top step. And so this will, you know, allow for, you know, advancement in the future. So given the experience of this individual and the association with all the land use and property knowledge, this person will be our liaison with the Parks Commission and the public, and would be the point of contact when it comes to the parks. He's really been our go-to person for anything land related, whether it be a property purchase, easement, right of way, anything along those lines. And, you know, assisting with the parks, it takes some duties and responsibilities off Tim and I that is really appreciated, and he does a great job.
All right, very good. Thank you for that, Drew. Questions, comments from the committee? Bob?
Just, go ahead. As far as the Parks Commission, he is doing a great job, and I really appreciate his, I don't know if I call it excitement, but he's into it. And we're trying to develop the Parks Department into a little more than what it was, and he's doing a great job leading the charge, if I may. So.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
So we're creating a new position, correct? For a surveyor.
Yeah, a new title.
New title.
You know.
How much has the county paid, you know, annually for surveying services? You said we're going to save money if we do this, like.
Yeah. Within the past year, we've expensed approximately $19,000 on additional surveying duties. That a good majority of that, with, you know, moving into this new title, he could save more than half of that. which would offset the increase, more than offset his increase.
Okay.
Thank you, Tom. Additional questions, comments? All right, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. It is my understanding that item 4 on our agenda, adjusting buildings and grounds operating budget for the Lucas Avenue, is being withdrawn. Is there anybody here to speak to that withdrawal?
I
You
can
are?
speak to
Okay,
that, yes.
perfect.
Josh Rothwell, Assistant Deputy Director of Public Facilities, Buildings and Grounds. So after further evaluation late Thursday and then part of Friday, I was able to collaborate with Sam and some of the staff down in our finance department and find out that the amount of money that needs adjusted for that lease is nowhere near what is stated in the resolution. There was actually money left over in that account from last year that was supposed to have been transferred, that memo never got out to others as people have retired. And we found also an error in the math that indicated the build-out. It was still including the build-out costs in the monthly payment, which ended last month. So the number is significantly higher than what it needs to be. And until we could get that looked at by Kitty and Jen and to verify that we have the right number, we decided this afternoon to just pull it off today's meeting.
Okay. I appreciate that description there. I'll still ask if there's any questions, comments. We're not taking any action on this, but while Josh is here.
What's the time? Like, how long would that take, you think?
We'll just submit for next month's meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just put a new resolution in with the correct number in it.
Okay.
And then it's the right number. And we're pretty sure 3 of us came up with the same number, but I'm not the budget director or in charge of finance, so we'll get the verification.
Good. Appreciate you letting us know that then, so, yeah. Anything else on the withdrawn proposed resolution? All right, if not, we will continue on. Next is number 5, adjust budget for the Mayville parking lot reconstruction.
This resolution is to close out a capital project and move those funds into the Mayville parking lot project that we've created, which involves doing sidewalks, curb work, and some paving. That number came in significantly high. The bid did. It came in at roughly $213,000, and we only had, I believe, $194,000 budgeted for that. So after looking at our projects, when we looked at the initial HVAC project for the chiller, the $60,000 was put in there in 2019 to be used in 2020, and we didn't do any projects in 2020 during COVID, so the money still sat there. Well, in the meantime, we have 2 chillers, a backup one and the one we use most of the time, and we switched those. We had a significant failure in that, and the plan was that $60,000 was going to fix that, do some maintenance work to the other one, and then we never ended up doing any capital projects that year. And then we had more issues with one of the chillers, chiller number 2, and we decided to do a total replacement. And then we had ARPA funding and whatever to do that project. So we still had this $60,000 set here, and with the use of that money being transferred into this other account, we can get the sidewalks and the curbs taken care of here on campus, and we believe we're going to be really close to doing some in-house paving also, using the DPF to pave the parking lot, HRC lot behind the church here, and also over at the DMV entrance. And the sidewalk project also gets everything compliant, handicap accessibility, takes the holes and the chunks of concrete and stuff that we've got, deteriorating now, and replaces all of that. So instead of asking for more money, I'm just asking to switch it from one account to another.
Yep, okay, good.
And that project will be started shortly, within the next couple weeks.
Okay,
is
All right.
scheduled.
Very
We're
good.
waiting for the columns to finish.
Once they finish the column project, we didn't want them
Driving
in the
on
way of one
New
another,
Smith,
so.
so.
Yeah. Questions, comments on, thank you for that detailed description. Anyone?
How long do you foresee the project lasting?
How long would it take to do that? Roughly.
Depending on weather, I would say not less than 3 weeks. I'd
Okay.
say 3 to 4 weeks,
Fairly quick.
realistically.
Probably a month.
Is that gonna cause an issue with the DMV down there?
It's probably a little bit, yes. They'll have to use the other entrance. We'll have to get press releases out. We've already been in contact with Justin once it gets started, and we got a date, and we'll get some press releases out, however he does that through Facebook, Post Journal, et cetera. The DMV will still remain open. There's other entrances, so you can use the Board of Elections entrance if, and do the front part, and then use that entrance, do the vice versa.
Just have to work with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, good question, Dalton, thanks. Any others? All right, those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Our next item, we are looking to authorize an amendment to the agreement, Town of Chautauqua Sewage Treatment Services.
Matt Olbeck, Director, North Chautauqua Lake Sewer District. The resolution here is requested by the Town of Chautauqua as we treat sewage for them, sent to us from their sewer district, and they have an extension planned, and in order, EFC wants to see our contract extended out for at least as long as the 5-year short-term EFC financing, as of right now. So then we discussed it, and this thought that through September 30th, 2039 would be a good date to start with. There's wording in the contract that if we see the need for an increase in costs or in treatment costs, that we have to give them certain notice and they would increase it. But what this is gonna do is add, and I don't know the number of users, but their extension's like 65 grinder pumps. Some of them may take more than 1 or 2 houses. Bob probably knows. So we will be getting some more revenue because of this.
All right, very good. Appreciate that, Matt. Questions, comments on this amendment, on the resolution? Seeing or hearing none, all those in favor of the resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and carried. Great, thank you very much. Next, excuse me, number 7, amending the budget for the North County Industrial Water District.
Mr. Chairman, Pierre Chagnon, Chairman of the Legislature, I'm going to help out Matt with this one since I was independently involved with this. This was the renovation and repair of the North County Industrial Water District water tower, which is also essential to the North County Water District. We allocated ARPA funds to the project based upon a engineer's estimate of the cost to do the work. And we did the work, and we're very surprised the cost came in way more than the engineer's estimate. So when that was discovered last year, we wanted to get the work done before the water tower had a catastrophic failure. So we allocated the fund balance from the North County Industrial Water District, essentially depleting their fund balance to do the work, get the project going and get it completed. after we had done that and the project was well underway, it came to light that we hadn't covered the engineer's cost. We got the contract going and the work was being done, but we didn't have enough money to pay the engineers. So since we had depleted the fund balance, the county budget director did some analysis and said she predicted that when we closed out the 2023 budget year, we would have additional fund balance available. So we told the engineers, you screwed up, so you're going to have to wait now to get paid. And so once we closed out the 2023 year and found that there was available fund balance that had been restored, we now have the funds to pay the engineer. So this is to transfer the additional fund balance that's now available to pay the engineer.
Perfect. Appreciate that description and that detail. Questions, comments from the committee?
You did great. You always do.
Let's pay the engineer.
Questions, comments? All right. Seeing none, hearing none. Those in favor of the resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and carried. Great. Thank you very much.
You owe me again.
I do.
All right, we are moving right along. We are proposed resolution number 8, acceptance of the FAA funds to purchase testing equipment. Shannon.
Hi there. Hello. Shannon Fisher, Manager of Airports. We are, I think a few months ago, you probably remember, I came and asked to be able to apply for this aft testing. It was an emergency. We had to get this testing equipment for our truck. So this is now, they have awarded it, and it's 100% federally funded, no local tax or state tax dollars. So we're just hoping we can get approval to accept the award.
Great, thank you very much. Yes, I do remember that. Questions, comments for Shannon regarding this?
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to point out that when we authorized the application for this grant for this project, it was anticipated that the cost would be $28,000 with a local share of $1,400. So we're very fortunate now to receive this award, and it has no local share.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Good job, Shannon.
Good point.
I don't think I did
Keep up the
anything
good
there,
work.
but sure, thank you, Pierre.
Other questions, comments regarding the acceptance of this?
Does this have all the same?
Yep.
Okay. Do all of these that we're gonna see tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
For purposes of the record or for my purposes, could you finish whatever that question was? Does this have all of the
The strings
stipulations?
attached.
Okay.
With accepting federal grant money.
Okay, okay.
That keeps us in the airport
Thank you for that.
business
Okay,
without paying them back.
perfect, okay.
So they give us grant funding, and they expect us to use it a certain way. And we provide those safety stipulations, we have our FAA inspections, and they basically are saying that they will not provide us another grant for 20 more years. This should last about that amount of
Okay.
time. So the 20-year time frame, I see it a little differently than Bob sees it. He sees it strings attached. I see it as, they give us a lot of money, and I would want it to be spent a certain way as well, so.
So, okay, very good. Thank you. Other questions, comments? Seeing and hearing none. Those in favor of the proposed resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Carried. All right, thank you very much for that. Looks like you're staying up here, Shannon.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
you'll see
guessing.
me the rest of the time, I think.
believe so. So we are at item number 9, accepting FAA and New York State DOT funds to rehabilitate runway pavement and reconstruction. Go ahead, Shannon.
And I guess before we move on, this one, the numbers, I'm going to request that we amend the numbers on this one. So this project is to rehabilitate our crosswind runway. As you know, we just did our primary runway a couple years ago, and we do a pavement program with our engineers, and this is the useful life of the crosswind runway. It will be up in the next few years. So we're proposing that
We were awarded the funds, and we are asking that we accept the funds to start the design on that project with our engineers. And if you look down at the numbers, the state numbers, if you start with the federal numbers, should actually be $425,700. And the state and local shares should both be $23,650 with the same total project cost. So should be 5% for both state and local. I apologize for the numbers.
All right, very good, thank you. Questions, comments on that?
And I guess I will
Go ahead,
add, sorry. This one we haven't been awarded yet, but as you know, we usually have a very quick turnaround with the FAA. So the other two that I'm proposing tonight they've already been awarded, and they gave us less than 30 days. So we had these on, we basically have a 2-day turnaround on the other ones. We wanted to get this on the agenda in advance and do an anticipated award. They've told us it's coming. I just don't know if it's in a week or 2 weeks, but it will be before our next meeting. So instead, in lieu of an emergency session, I was proposing it for this month. So
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yep.
Definitely, okay. Questions, comments on this proposed resolution?
So, Mr. Chairman, you'll need a motion to amend the resolution.
Oh, yes, yep. Thank you for that. Any other questions, comments? Yes?
Will the numbers on the second page of the resolution change also?
yes, so where it says 24,100, those will be 23,650. Yep, and those will be the only changes. You're welcome. Oh, I'm sorry. Federal aid, the very last line, it says 424,800. That'll go to the 425,700 number. Still with the same total.
So before our motion to amend, any other questions, comments for Shannon? All right, is there a motion to amend this resolution per the numbers that were just given to us? Thank you. We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so the motion is amended as described. Again, seeing no further questions, comments. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And carried. Great. Thank you very much.
He needs a nay.
Is that the amendment or the regular?
That was the regular.
Nay.
We just did the amendment,
Good.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Very good. That was number 9. Proposed resolution number 10, authorizing a public hearing.
Yes, so this is for Chase Aviation. They're one of our tenants. They've been an excellent tenant for the airport, and he would like to stay another 3 years. So in the past, we've done 2 years. He asked if we could do a 3-year this time, and so I'm proposing a 3-year lease for Chase Aviation. And you'll notice we haven't increased it slightly, just $75. We're going to provide him the use of a parking area at the terminal. So we would like to have a public hearing to move forward with this, and then the next month after that, we would do the lease.
All right, very good. Questions, comments? How long have they been there?
Before I started, so I think 4 years.
Okay, okay.
Say
It was
2020.
2,
Does it stay in there?
4.
2020.
Yeah.
All right. Maintenance and that type of thing.
Yep. No. These guys?
Yeah.
No, they're aviation brokers.
Oh, okay,
So they broker
okay.
aircraft and
Okay.
aviation and consultant, yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Good.
Yep.
Questions, comments? Otherwise, yes, Bob?
Where are they located? Are they where at the airport are they located?
Have you been to the airport?
I have
Just kidding. So behind the ticket counter, if you go behind there, you go through the doors like you're going up to the,
Yeah,
to
I
the
was
upstairs.
snooping around there a couple weeks ago.
Oh, you were, okay. We wouldn't have been able to get back there, but behind
Well, a
the,
guy asked me to leave, but
that was you?
Bob
No,
gets
I'm
a
just
lot.
kidding. But you have to go behind, it was where TSA and the ticketing offices were before when we had air service. So in all of our clauses, he knows that if we do get air service back, we'll have to relocate him.
That was
Okay.
that's where I was going with that.
Yes.
Thank you.
He's well aware of that, but he's a great tenant, so it's got a nice view of the runway there too.
All right,
Beat me to it. Thank you.
very good.
There was actually someone snooping around though, recently. So I said there was actually someone there recently that went through his office, so
Oh, a little short guy.
it wasn't you.
Okay, very good, Shannon. Any other questions, comments on the proposed resolution? Hearing, seeing none. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. And,
Just me again.
yes, we are down to number, what, was that 10? We are down to 11, I believe, except FAA, New York State DOT funds.
Okay, so we were awarded funds from New York State back in the fall for about $1 million in renovations, and I tried to explain then that they only provide the funding for revenue-producing portions of the airport. So anything we're bringing in funds on, these offices, conference rooms, the restaurant. So the rest of the terminal, we went after federal award for, and they have offered us the design portion of that, which is a really good chance then if they're giving us the design funds, they'll give us the construction funds in 2 years to finish off the rest of the terminal. So in addition to that, though, the numbers, again, I need to amend. I apologize. So the federal number stays the same, and then it actually goes down. So the total project cost of this one is $140,760. And then both the state and local costs are $7,038. Apologize, our math was off.
Okay.
But we were awarded this, the design. And we are asking to accept those funds.
Okay, okay, and that's, was this just given to me, or was that?
Yeah, forget that
Given.
math page, yeah.
Okay, all right. So, okay, very good. So we have those new numbers in front of us now. 738, 738. Okay, so we'll need another motion to amend.
So the
before we go
second
ahead.
page would be, the numbers would change for Olivia's purposes too. Yep.
Are you good with the second page in that, Olivia? Or you need that, okay, you need those again, okay. So before the motion to amend, questions, comments on the acceptance of this from the committee? All right, so this is just a motion to amend as just described. Is there a motion? Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and carried. Okay, so a motion to amend has been approved. Questions, comments? Mr. Buchanan, I hear you on the edge of your seat.
No, I'm not.
You okay?
Yep.
Okay, all right. So now we're looking for this, for the approval of this proposed resolution. So, is, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right, thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
One name.
Study
Yes. We are going to be presenting to you guys very soon.
very soon.
Yes. I have to set the meeting up. I don't know when it's going to be just yet. Hopefully within the next few weeks.
Stay tuned, okay?
I have sent a message
Good.
to them, so.
Good reminder, thanks for that, Bob. Anything else for, you,
That's it.
anything else for Shannon while she's here?
I'm out of here.
She's had enough. All right, very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Very much, we appreciate that. Last item on the agenda, we had a renew and amend. It's my understanding that this is a discussion item only. North Chautauqua Lake Sewer District Plant Capacity Study Grant Authorization Appropriation of Local Match. So Matt is back. Please restate name for the record.
Director, North Chautauqua Lake Sewer District. I apologize for this being late. When we sent the original to EFC, the total study cost should reflect the $50,000 grant they're giving us and the $10,000, and we only put $50,000 in there, so it should reflect $60,000, so that's the change there. Otherwise, they wouldn't give us the full $50,000.
All right, and it's my understanding that this is just going in front of the full legislature for action. If I am incorrect in that, somebody please let me know, but that was my understanding. So again, just discussion only. Questions, comments to Matt on this?
Mr. Chairman, you're correct. We will have to renew and amend it on the legislature floor.
Okay, very good, thank you. Anything else then for this item?
No, sir.
All right. I appreciate that description. Mr. Olbeck?
Thank you.
Very good. Nothing else for us, Matt?
No.
You've had enough? All right, Michelle? My understanding is I would ask Tim to come down. And he has some information for us as well. We're no longer following the agenda.
Tim Carr, Director of Public Facilities. I want to give you a report, two things, I guess. Number one, the Sheridan salt shed that we put in for and replaced is fully done and ready to be filled, so that's a good project that's completed. My biggest concern is the carts hub. Okay, we've run into a little glitch with this whole project. As we got into the building and got the steel and everything off the side of the building, we found that it wasn't in the shape that we anticipated it to be in. Okay, so with work with Labella, their engineers, Lex Brummage and our engineers, a couple contractors, we studied the building and looked at it and decided I couldn't, rightfully so, put taxpayer dollars into that building to fix it. You know, it's like your house, when you tear the roof off, you find rafters and everything else that needs to be replaced. So, as of today, we have removed that building. It has been torn down with our own staff. Our own staff has taken that down, and we are looking to move forward, okay? With legal counsel, we are, and I guess answers come along when you move forward, but the gentleman from Gear Done, which is the building right directly behind the cart sub, the gas station, approached me 2 days probably here after we had found this problem. And he said, Tim, he said, we are selling our business and the building is for sale. So we are currently under negotiations with him and the Gear Done building to look at that. We are scheduled tomorrow to meet with the architects and the engineers to look at his building, to look at purchasing that building and renovating it for the cart sub and other county departments because of the size of the building. That's kind of where we're at. PJ, myself, Michelle, we had a meeting with the state on Thursday of last week as far as the funding goes, and we just have to tie up a few ends with them, get some pictures, some explanations to them, and it looks like they're going to let us use the current funding that we have received from the state to move forward with the project. And then the only other tie that we have, and maybe Todd could help me with a little bit on this, is the removal of the contract with H&K, who was the contractor that was going to redo the gas station.
All right, Tim, thank you. Questions, comments?
So what happens to where the gas station was? What happens to that?
That's gonna become a parking lot for the hub, for the buses still to pull in, pick up the people. It's just gonna give us a little bit more space.
Would the city gain their parking spot back then?
On the street, yeah. Yeah, that's just temporary.
Yeah.
That was just temporary during construction, so I would say probably by the end of this week, they'll have their spot back.
Okay.
How much rehab do we have to do to this new building?
That's what tomorrow is about, is to take a look at it and then sit down and look and see what we're gonna have to do to make it efficient for the hub. The building is about 7,200 square feet, which the cart hub only needs really approximately 1,000 square feet for everything that we need to do for the hub. And then the remaining, there's another department that's possibly looking to going in there.
Won't this like permanently take that building off the tax rolls? And should we be
Yeah.
doing that, I guess? If they're looking to
It'll be-
sell, it'd be
it'll
nice to see
become
another
a-
business go in there.
It'll become a county building, yes.
Mhm.
And I can get those numbers, what that
I
tax
think it would
be.
accommodate a lot more people to have a waiting area as well, if we took the Yerdon building, to not have them all sitting on the sidewalk,
Well,
waiting and waiting.
You know, and our other option is to look at, if this doesn't, obviously, if this option doesn't go through, then, you know, we will be looking at a new build, which is probably going to be considerably more.
Could there be benches or those covers, you know, Mr. Anthony mentioned that we're sitting on a sidewalk. Could there be some kind of a bench or covered spot for these people to wait for their buses there?
Well, it's going
temporarily,
to be, I mean, temporarily, we could do something. I know we have one here in Mayville that we could possibly move down, because the sidewalk project's going to be removed. We can look at some options for, yes, until the hub is completed.
Other questions, comments? No action, but appreciate the discussion.
Yeah, it's an update, you know, we'll be back with more updates and as we look to move forward. This whole project is something that I've inherited, and we're trying to work through it and get it completed.
Sure.
Yeah, and I have to admit, I heard about this, and I thought, well, I should have heard about this through the committee. I would have expected months ago.
Now, this
Kinda
just
heard
came
about it.
about within the
It
last.
just got torn down today, didn't
Within
it?
the last 3 weeks is, you know, we found
Yeah.
that the building was in the shape that it was in.
But the gentleman selling Gear Done,
That just happened within the last 2 weeks. Like, it was
Okay.
2 days after we had met with the engineers and with the architects to discover that the shape of the building was in, and then 2 days later, I got a phone call from the gentleman. He said that the building was going to be for sale, or he was interested in selling the building. They sold their business, you know, you'll see that, a sale going on there, but that's already sold, so they will be going out, they're going out of business.
is there any room in, at City Hall in Jamestown to put any kind of a Cart's office in there?
No, it's more, basically all it really is, it's a waiting area. It's an inside waiting area, and then we have a bathroom in there for our drivers when they're waiting, and like a small break room for them, and a maintenance closet, basically, is what we need for the hub.
Anything else? Any other questions,
They want the
comments?
gentleman to elaborate on something?
I was just prepared if there were questions on the contract side, but I don't have anything to add unless there are questions from the committee.
Very good. Nothing else, committee? All right, Tim, thank you very much for the update. We
Thank you.
appreciate that.
If anybody has any questions, feel free to call me, and we'll get an answer for you, okay?
All right, very good.
Thank you.
All right, for the good of the order, Public Facilities Committee, anything else?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I don't know if other members of the committee saw the news article about the bridges in the county, that there are 558 bridges in the county, and 46 of them are in bad condition or poor condition, and the cost to repair those, I wonder, do we, as a committee, is that something we should be looking at, something we should be discussing, or is there a fund for that, or do we just wait till one collapses and then, repair it?
Yeah.
And I'm new to the committee, so I'm wondering
Yeah.
what happens. And
Yeah, as am I. I mean, that's a good
We
question.
typically don't wait for collapse. That's.
Yeah, I hope not.
Mr. Chairman, I think I can elaborate on this to Legislator Nelson's question, which is an excellent question. The state report on the bridges in poor condition in Chautauqua County did not indicate how many of those were owned by Chautauqua County and how many of them were owned by New York State. And I don't remember the exact numbers, and I don't know if Tim or Drew do, but roughly just more than half of the total are owned by Chautauqua County, and the balance are owned by New York State. Then further to your question, the county does annually repair bridges and culverts. That's an annual process. Then we, through our DPF staff, select the bridges that are most in need of repair or renovation. And also taking into consideration the amount of traffic that they have on them. Further, we have been pursuing federal funding for additional resources to be able to do even more renovation of the county-owned bridges. And we have a team that's working on a possible grant, right, Drew? To pursue funding for additional funding to us to be able to do additional bridge reconstruction and renovation. I don't know that we're anywhere yet near applying for that grant, but we have a team working on it, right, Drew?
We're always looking.
Yeah. So that's some additional information to your excellent question that I am aware of.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Any other questions, comments for the good of the order? Hearing none, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Anthony. Thank you for seconding.
Second.
We are adjourned.